Hi, everyone. Now that I know how to press a button or two, I got us live here. Thank you for joining us wherever you are in the world and whatever time it is. We appreciate your time. Welcome to another episode of The Power of Intentional Partnerships, where we welcome our friends, colleagues, and partners. I am so grateful to have you all here today. I can't believe this is episode 9. We're almost in double digits, which means so many of our amazing partners we've had the opportunity to highlight, and our friends who bring so much value to the work that we do and to the world of work. So to catch you up as a reminder, for those of us who joined us before or who need that refresher, if you're new, hey to all. But this mini-series really was baked from our CEPHR value of agility, which was born out of a desire to highlight our partners, to showcase their talent, so you can learn more about their work and the work we do together. But most importantly, learn about what makes a strong partnership and collaboration, what makes it tick, what's the secret. So that might look like tips for entrepreneurs and solopreneurs, sharing resources and wisdom, collaboration, sharing space. And to those of you who are working in organizations, you might be looking for ways to collaborate. How do you pick up those best practices and tips, so we don't work in silos, because we don't like those. So today, we're so glad that you've joined. We encourage your thoughts, a hello in the comments. I hope you have your beverage and snack. I have my Trader Joe's white sangria beverage that I'll be enjoying. And we're going to be streaming live today to LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter, or X as we call it these days. You can watch our past episodes on our YouTube channel at CEPHR, and the link's already in the comments for you, but I'll refresh it after this live as well. So all of that out of the way and on the table, let me share a quick thing about our guest today, a thing or two. Her name is Jay Polaki, and she is the CEO and founder of HR Geckos. HR Geckos automates HR workflows, processes, and connects all HR systems to focus on what matters most: people. That's why we're here. They provide dashboards and FAQs, knowledge centers to support the people within organizations. Ooh, some of our favorite things, all of that in one sentence. So excited. And they embrace our CEPHR value of agility as well. Another bonus, but Jay is also the host of HR Bytes, the podcast and video series. So I am going to let her talk about herself and bring her on up to the stage, show her some love. Welcome, Jay. Hey, Meenakshi, you're here too.
Hello. Hi there. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. And thank you so much, Tiffany, for doing this. I love to talk and, of course, talk with my friends. And I'm so happy to see you. And I see Meenakshi's here too. Hi, Meenakshi. So nice to see you here.
Yes.
And I'm not able to connect to comment in StreamYard yet, but I'm trying to comment on LinkedIn. So let's see how that goes.
Agility in practice, folks.
Yeah, agile as a gecko. We're moving and learning and doing stuff as we're talking here.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yep. So tell me a little bit more about what got you started with this, Tiffany, because see, I started the interview.
You are fresh off your podcast interview, so you're in mode. And I was getting ready earlier because I was talking to my dear friend in HR, Julie Turney. I was talking to her earlier, and I was like, I feel like I'm interviewing her. That wasn't the purpose. We were just catching up, but I'm like, I guess I'm in mode today. So got my CEPHR shirt on. So this really, I was having a conversation with another partner who was the first guest I had on here, Gil Cohen, and we were just talking, doing our collaborative partner thing, working on some client work. And I said, I really want the world to see more of like what's happening behind the scenes here, but specifically because, I'm all about community as another value. I just want to like showcase what you're doing. I want people to understand. And wouldn't it be great if there's another opportunity to be able to share what good partnership looks like? How do we collaborate? Because silos are not, we don't do those. And we need to just open things up in this ecosystem. And it naturally, and he said, well, we could talk about too, like how you support each other as friends and hold space. And I was like, yes, because that's part of the workplace too. And just boom, I can just like that. 9 episodes. Here we are. Thank you for being my number 9.
Oh, that makes me feel so nice. Well, you talked about friends, and so I picked up these really nice pins from Barnes and Nobles yesterday. all these Friends pins
Pivot.
with these really nice, cute, things from Friends, the TV show. Of
Yeah.
course, we have to talk about the pivot
Oh
episode.
my gosh.
But yeah, these are my props. See, I'm like Kramer, and I've got props.
You were serious about that. I was like, what is she cooking up now over there?
No,
But it'll be good. I
absolutely.
know it'll be good.
So, you and I talked about becoming partners for such a long time, and finally we signed the dotted line and said, hey, let's make this official, even though we were like unofficial partners for some time. So,
Yeah.
there are certain things when I intentionally partner with my HR peers and consultants in our space that I really focus on, and that's the part where we actually connect as humans, more than partners, where we can be friends even if things go haywire at the end of the day. So we really need to, for me, make that connection before I really get into any official partnerships. And so it's taken a little while for me to get to know you, be a part of your community, and choose you intentionally as a partner for HR Geckos. And thank you for this lovely postcard,
Oh,
with your message. It's gratitude, right? It's the
you're
attitude
welcome.
of gratitude that really matters, and to me that's very, very important, in my work, outside of my work, everywhere in every sphere of my life. And so, moving forward, that's what I expect and look forward to in our partnership and growing together as friends in the HR community.
Yes, I love that. And we would be remiss not to say that we finally got to meet in person after all this time. Jay is another lovely pandemic gift, I call them, or my 20, I used to say 2020 gifts, but I keep accumulating good friends across this COVID era. And so it was so beautiful to get to meet you at the PHRA conference. Was that September? What month are we in? Yeah,
Oh, yes.
September.
Yes,
That was
September.
so wonderful.
Yeah, it was lovely to be up there in Pittsburgh and get to meet so many of the Pittsburgh HR Association folks as well. I've connected with a lot of them on LinkedIn, and I know a few of them off and on, like you. We collaborate. And I was like, I haven't seen them in person. It's been so long. And so I made it up there. And of course, they also had a last minute cancellation and they invited me to speak. So that was a good experience. It was both a hybrid and in person kind of speaking engagement. So engaging the audience in the virtual world and in the real world in person was quite a feat. And so we achieved it. Yay. At the end of the day, and live to tell the tale. Like all of us are grappling with this whole remote and hybrid workplace that we've been thrown into. So, and that was
Yeah.
a good experience. Of course, I got to see you and network with you, which was awesome. And, get to meet everyone who was at the conference that particular day and even the next day. So awesome.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Jay is, if you ever need networking tips, which I might pick your brain. I know I didn't send you these questions, but just wow, you are like the amazing like template of networking. And I was like, oh my gosh, now she's over here. Now she's introducing me to this person. Oh, she knows this person as well. And it was really great because I also got to reconnect with some other folks from LinkedIn and my HR space and here in Pittsburgh who I've known right in the city and hadn't gotten to meet in person. So I guess I would love honestly to stay there for just a moment to share like what energized you that much about networking, any tips you have for folks, like top 3 tips, because when I tell you Jay can work a room, it was something to behold.
Well, you are very kind with your compliments, but it's the energy, right? I had come off of another conference, I think from Florida to Pittsburgh. I'd escaped the hurricane. I was speaking at HR Florida as well, like 2 weeks prior to, not even two, it was like less than 10 days prior to the PHRA conference in Pittsburgh. And it's the energy, right? I mean, I've been traveling all year this year, connecting with my HR peers and HR community and the HR technology community across the United States. And it's just been marvelous to connect with folks that I've chatted with on Twitter, been in all those Twitter spaces chats with on LinkedIn, and, talk to folks. But it's the energy, right? You really need to pep yourself up before you go to a networking event.
Yes.
Because I can tell you, if you don't have the energy, you're just gonna not be happy to network. You won't be happy talking to people. And so that my number one tip is, talk yourself into being a happy networker. If you're not going to be energized to network, then don't be there, because it's not a good way to spend your time anyway. And people will think of you as kind of standoffish if you don't want to talk to them at a networking event. So that's my number one tip, definitely. Right, go to a networking event prepared to network. If not, don't go. And of course, my other top tip is, kind of gauge the room before you start kind of circulating. When you're at a conference, you kind of know who the top networkers are. You kind of know who is talking to whom and who is connected to whom. And so it's very important that you kind of gauge the room. I was at the Google Accelerator, Google offices in San Francisco in Silicon Valley earlier this year. That was a great experience for me. I'd never been to a Google office. It was really state of the art, right? I felt like I was walking through this body of a whale or an orca while I was entering that building. It had, like the skeleton, the insides of a whale or an orca. And like that. But yeah, design apart, it was quite an interesting experience, because there were a lot of startup tech founders like me there, and there were few folks who were really networking, talking to everyone, getting to know what we do, and just connecting. And then there were others who were just nibbling on the snacks because they were hungry, also because it was lunch networking at all day end. We do like HR snacks, right? We love snacks.
HR Bytes.
HR Bytes, the other Bytes, not the computer Bytes. So and they were networking, which is totally okay, because they were gearing up to network by refueling and re-energizing themselves. But then you got to really gauge the room and see who is willing to talk to you, and then first go approach them. You don't want to disturb people who are actually taking a break and wanting to be in the corner of the room and not talking to you. So these are just some tips that you learn on the go. It's not something that you read in the Harvard Business Review or someone like coaches you on. You just learn live, and you need to be going to events to learn, which we don't have a lot of for the past 3 years. So a lot of folks didn't have that practice, so it was good to go to these events and just be in person with people out of a Zoom window, and just network. So I think I covered my top 3 tips there. Yeah.
Thank you. And I know that was totally impromptu, but I know I can, like any of my partners, it's safe to always we can do things on the fly where there's enough trust there. I think that's a huge element of it too. But I just, in this learning aspect, you talked about connection. Like I typed some notes because hello, perimenopause brain. I will tell anybody who will listen to me. I digress. But need to like write things down sometimes. And there's so much meat in what you share that I wanted to pull out. When you talked about preparation, so working the room, and I got to see Jay do this in live action. It's just like, come on, let's go over here. Oh, let's go over here. And okay, now we can eat. And there was like, none of it was planned per se, but you were so just good on the fly with that, but like excitement and that energy that you talked about to meet other people. And that ties into partnership too, or like working in a team, collaboration. We have to have this excitement and be moving in the same direction or toward a goal, not just to like maybe hang out and eat snacks, but also important to refuel, right? And to be energized, to prepare, because you don't just want to jump into things without thinking about it. And I think the reason I asked you that is one, because I hear a lot from people about networking. and how they're so terrified about it. And I just had to share my experience of, oh, well, you do it, but take the moment to say, here's, some tips from someone who I recognize did it well. And then to pull that into this partnership piece, because it does all go together hand in hand. So those are my thoughts from what you shared.
Absolutely. Thank you for synthesizing them so well. I don't know about what brain you're talking. It's pretty active.
That's today right now. So I have to work really hard at it sometimes. But we talk, about people in the workplace. And I know we both care about people, and it very much impacts our businesses and organizations and the world of work. And so that is something where, I know that connection is important to you. It's important to me at CEPHR, the team. It's very much important to any of the partners. And that makes such a difference, whether we're talking about streamlining, building culture or streamlining workflows and processes. There has to be this point of connection and understanding that none of that matters if we're unprepared. So we need to prepare for change. If we're not willing to collaborate with each other and make the best, possible outcome, and if we're not willing to just meet people where they're at, right? Our people are the engine. So I'd love for you to talk more about that. I see you're busy in the chat here. Thank you for putting that in. The co-pilot, I love it. Can you share more with us about HR Geckos? Because I know, right, the power of it, but for other folks who are wondering, and how can it help my organization? Can you share a bit more?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for asking that question. When I started HR Geckos, I was an HR practitioner, leading the HRIS, compensation, recruitment, and employment functions for a pretty medium sized business, about 6,000 employees, right? And at that time, there wasn't anything like this in the marketplace. There was no
Mm,
technology to augment the work that we do as HR leaders and practitioners to help us, um, you know, do our work better, be better, and actually not like pull our hair out. So when I built HR Geckos, that was my biggest pain point. How do I make that human connection and keep nurturing and fostering that human connection with everyone in the organization? Because we in HR, the human, right? The H in HR is so important to us. We're just not a resource. We are actually the humans who work with the other humans in an organization. And
mhm.
when it comes to doing the great work that we do in HR, we unfortunately are always strapped for resources. And, how do we boost the resources and magnify the human? So these are the two things that drove me to think about how we can augment our work with technology. And that's why I founded HR Geckos. As in our name, Geckos, we exist to transform HR and transform how we look at HR as a function today. And a lot of this has also helped, a lot of the stuff that went on in our workplaces during the pandemic, and now with the whole AI drama that's working
Mm.
out over this past weekend as well, in our workplaces. A lot of that has definitely helped to bring our focus and attention to how we should be utilizing technology to our advantage. And so HR Geckos is a co-pilot for HR operations. So what that means is, take any of your digital or non-digital HR processes and look at them from the lens of digitizing them. So take a checklist, and look at it from the digital lens and see how you can actually automate that checklist while augmenting the human. Take onboarding, for example. There's so many pieces to the puzzle. There's so many moving pieces. How do we automate that process so everyone involved has a clear idea of what needs to get done and can actually do it in a timely and efficient manner? So again, so we are not all sitting and pulling our hair out. And then at the end of the day, we are also a help desk for HR. So we make sure that employees are being helped in real time. So we have AI powered dashboard and platform, a ticketing system for HR. Think about the IT ticketing systems that exist in all our organizations, right? We've had them forever. Why doesn't HR have it? Why are we still responding in emails, phone calls, voicemails, being accosted in the parking lot like I used to be, or even in the bathroom stalls? I'm like, how do you know I'm in here? The shoes. I'm like, my shoes. I had like a whole wardrobe of shoes because of that, because I didn't want people to accost me in the bathroom.
Sure, I understand.
The funny side of HR is everyone expects everything at the drop of a hat, or today the click of a button. So we need to be providing that consumer grade experience to our workplace and our workforce, and that's where HR Gecko steps in. We are the home of HR GeckoBot, our chatbot that is there to assist your employees in real time. But the unique thing about us is that our chatbot also helps HR teams. So we are a chatbot that caters to both the HR administrators and HR teams and leaders, as well as the employee population. So that's our unique value proposition there. And of course, we are the only help desk created for HR by HR, not some technology buff who thought about this and just put together a platform. It's actually me who designed it after 20 years of working, down in the boonies in HR all of these years and getting to know the function inside out. So it's not something that someone just put together and said, hey, here's a platform for you. So that's us in kind of a nutshell, in a long-winded way. But our motto is to make HR as agile as a gecko. And that's what we are here to do. And that's what we intend to do for the foreseeable future.
I love that. Oh, so much to unpack in there. And hey, Jenny is my lovely friend Jenny from Milwaukee. I have so many thoughts and I typed them. Yes, I did. I typed them out. But what I'm sitting with in a good way right now is this piece about by HR for HR, because people don't get us. They don't. They just really are like, I was at a conference last week. Anyway, again, there goes the brain. I was there and there was a woman who very hastily, all I did was look up and smile. And she said, as she breezed by, we don't have any employees. We don't need HR. And I was like, it was a pearl clutching moment. But I thought, there's another opportunity to educate, right? Like, people don't understand that it's not just when you hire and fire, but you talked about all these great things like resources. Everybody needs resources. Everyone should be onboarded properly. Everyone deserves real-time answers, not waiting for forever. Do you know how many times I hear and see, on engagement surveys and other data-driven things that we're looking at? We're looking at things where people are saying, I'm not getting follow-up, no one cares. Maybe that's not your intent, but people are perceiving that you don't care because you're not getting back to them, or it's not happening on their time and fast enough. And let's be honest, stuff has changed since COVID. Expectations are even higher. So the bar continues to climb. But I love that and how you're highlighting the tech piece, but in a very human way and from the people space, right? Like looking to serve people, not just, hey, we're this technology and we know you HR people need this. And yeah, we get it that employees need this, but truly from a place of service. And that just lights my heart up. Oh, Meenakshi actually loves it too. That makes me so happy.
No, absolutely. So as HR practitioners, we've all implemented technology in our workplaces. And when I've implemented technology, there was always this disconnect with the vendor, right? They tack on this tool and say, here, you just go implement this and this is how it works. There is no, I don't want to call it hand holding, but there is no, human customer service on an ongoing basis with any of these technology people. And that's what I also wanted to change, right? I mean, you just don't give out a platform and then just run off. It's not a technology that will just implement itself. You got to be there for your customers through that journey, whether it's 90 days, whether it's a whole year. You still got to be there because they're still your customer. And there was always that disconnect with the technology vendors when I worked with them, and this was pre-pandemic, right? I hope things have changed post-pandemic, but I still hear, I was at the HR technology conference exactly a month ago, and I still hear that those are still pain points where customer service is like non-existent for some of these big tech vendors. Like, I heard about this huge vendor, a $30 million contract, and there was one implementation manager for a 150,000 employee company. I'm just looking at this person going, what? Say that again? What? They did what? It's amazing how things have still not changed. But we really, as HR practitioners, because we have been thrown into this technology, you know, unwillingly, kind of, because of the way things are in the world of work today, especially after the pandemic. We really need to keep in focus the human side of things. And we really need to keep in focus, what is this technology that we are throwing at our workforce? Why are we even giving it to them? Will they use it? Will it actually help them personally be productive? Or is it just because we want to say, hey, we have this tool now, and so our business is going to be making a lot of I don't know, revenue because of this new tool? How are you connecting that, the ROI of this tool versus the revenue you're going to generate through your business? We should all be thinking about that, even though we are kind of stuck to the peripheries of the HR function and not allowed to talk outside of the HR function. Sometimes we're told a slap on the hand, no, you don't talk about budgets, no, you don't talk about how much it costs to implement this tool. I'm like, why not? We are the people who are making this tool happen. We should be talking to you about how much it's costing the company to make this tool go live, and whether it's a useful tool for the business or not. So, these are conversations that we as HR folks should be having. And to your point, that's the human side of things. It's the tech is the tech. Any tech can really be helpful, but only unless and until the humans use it. That's, tech can be built, and tech can be really stellar because it can be built very easily with all the tools we have today. But it's, at the end of the day, humans. How do they use it? Will they use it? And once they use it, is it going to be, leading to impactful results and productivity in their work?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So much of that. And now, like, what's surfacing too is about this whole piece of change management and how you do that well. And a lot of people don't realize that at CEPHR, we have helped people procure software solutions and all those things, those beautiful things that Jay just shared. It's not just about, and this goes internally for the organization, like the leadership who is doing that, and for the companies who are providing a service or a product, a software, that it's not just a one and done, like, oh, let's overlay this here. There are so many considerations, and there's a huge change management aspect to that, where it's like, sure, you can develop your wish list. We'll help you do that. Yes, we have this beautiful product over here, but where's the service aspect? And there's this intersection of that. When we look at also, diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging, how does it truly serve your folks? And are you looking at it? Does this software, is it riddled with bias? So even when you say this is by HR people for people, but I know you do a lot of deep listening as well, which is another reason I love partnering with you, because we love that value too. And just this employee experience and customer experience, those are not going anywhere. Again, they have only heightened with the pandemic, and people don't expect, if you call somewhere and they transfer you 6 times, now you have to retell the story and retell the story. Now I don't feel like I've been heard. So why would I want to purchase your product, right? And you also mentioned something very important about budget. I think so many times when we're looking for resources, it's tempting to go with the cheapest thing, or what they said they can do this in 3 weeks. Well, should it really take 8 weeks? So we want to be mindful of those considerations too. And the budget piece is an interesting one. So I love that you brought it up. When you're planning good change, you have to put a good budget in place too. So you just lit up all the little feels. I'm so excited. It doesn't take much for me, but I nerd out on this stuff.
We talked about this at the beginning of our conversation. It's all about the pivot, right?
Some people are short circuiting right now. We're sorry.
But that's the way things are today. I mean, it's the same outside of the workplace. I mean, I'm looking at all of this stuff here on behind my desk that I have to put up in my office for my holiday decor, and I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to get all this stuff up, right? We're all in the state of flux, and we really have to be flexible to make things happen in life and in work. When we talk about helping both HR folks and the workforce, for us, it's the employee experience lends itself not just the workforce, but also the HR team. They are the workforce too. A lot of people forget that HR teams are actually the employees, right?
Yeah.
There to help employees, but they are employees themselves, and no one talks about them. And you mentioned Julie. Julie talks a lot about Julie Turney talks a lot about how HR folks are always kind of neglected and not taken care of in organizations. And that's one of the ways in which I embedded into my platform to take care of my HR practitioner friends and community. This is a tool that's not just for your employees. It's to help you breathe easier, reduce the stress on yourself, and use technology to augment your work, not replace you. Like everyone thinks these tools are going to come and take over the workplace and replace all of us. No. A lot of these tools are here to augment your work. Think of that as augmenting the human intelligence. It's not artificial intelligence, it's augmented intelligence, and it's augmenting the human intelligence in your workplace. And to avoid burnout, because HR burnout, I'm sure read all of the research that's happened for the past 3-4 years on how it has impacted HR teams, because without us, organizations wouldn't have been able to make it through the pandemic and after. And our colleagues and peers in the HR function have really, really struggled to keep up with everything that's happening in the workplace and outside of the workplace in their own life, because it was also fully, in a state of flux. So to me, any technology, when you think of using it or implementing it, it should be helpful to the HR team as well as the employees. I mean, it's not either or, it's and HR and, for any of these tools to work. And it should not be painful. It should be so friendly and so user-friendly for all sides of the organization, that you can rest easy that, hey, there's this tool that can really help us and augment our productivity and make us better at what we do. So that's how I look at it, and that's how I also think about my HR friends and colleagues and helping them out through technology.
I love it. And we really need the love. And I know people probably think like, oh, I mean, let's be honest, we're all biased as humans. Like, let's face the facts. But I am biased towards my HR folks. And I will say that. And we have been through the ringer as we look. One thing you touched on earlier, Jay, was this transformation. And so that is so important. And I love how you talked about augmenting. And I was going to go there, but you took us there before about like, no, you're not going to be replaced. there's an augmentation, and it's the speed at which we do work and the intentionality at which we do work and the ability to feel safe to fail, to make mistakes, to try it on and take a little bit of risk, calculated risk, right? But there's so much bureaucracy in a lot of things. And there's this myth out there that HR is the one like slowing it down and doing it. Sometimes we're ready to speed it up and we're not supported. And talk about the impacts of COVID. They were so significant for everyone. HR folks, I mean, actually, here we did our conference around this, and we're still having these mini series too about burnout and the fast, rapid rate of it. Our leaders are burned out. HR folks have been. I've been through 3 rounds. We can't neglect that. And sometimes people don't like to hear it, but technology and streamlining that and having effective, efficient processes, giving your folks the tools. There's so much time and space that can be freed up that way. And I love that you share that, because I feel like sometimes I'm like knocking on doors where no one's home when I'm sharing these messages, but it's so important. It is so important to the process.
No, absolutely. And I was talking to my podcast guest, which is going to air next week.
Let's talk about the podcast.
This call, and HR Bytes. I just posted a little blurb about what we do on the podcast. It's both a podcast and a video series where we bring you stories of HR professionals, who are using technology and bringing that digital HR agenda to our HR function. And I was speaking to our podcast guest, Tim, earlier, just before this live show today with you. And he was talking about how they were just discussing what are the things that they are seeing that really need to be addressed. What are their big, hairy, audacious goals for their HR team in 2024, right? And one of the biggest things for them is revisiting all of these processes and looking at how they are implementing these processes. What are the challenges in implementing them? Where are the loopholes, and where is it working and where is it not working? So really revisiting and auditing all of your workflows and seeing where you can actually plug in the automation, where you can actually plug in the digitization to help you achieve those HR goals that you're setting up for yourself for the rest of the year. And a lot of times, I think in HR, we don't spend enough time on doing that. We don't spend enough time we don't have the time. First of all, it's not that we don't want to. It's we don't have the time. I mean, if you go on any of these Facebook groups today or even LinkedIn groups, you'll see people posting about their challenges. I mean, they have things that are always on fire. They need like this fire engine always putting and hosing out these fires. They want to, but they don't have the time to think about auditing all of their processes. And that's where, services like you and I come in. Use us to help you plan and prepare you and your team to be more productive. There are the 3 P's right there. Partner with us, plan, prepare, and be more productive. And that's a no-brainer if you ask me. And these services and resources are being offered today at a fraction of the cost that used to be early on. And so utilize our services, utilize the technology that we're offering. We have a free trial. Try it out for 21 days, no credit card required, right? I mean, a lot of tools out there have free trials. Try them out, see how they work for you. And I'm going to do a shameless plug here. We also have the Season of Giving thing going on, where we are also offering a 20% discount on the annual contract for HR Geckos. Avail that. Talk to us about a flexible contract for your team to see how it might work out. There's so many different ways in which you can help you do your work better and help your workforce. So, really auditing and taking a look at what you're doing currently and what are the challenges and pitfalls and what are the things that you can really make more efficient should be your big, hairy, audacious goal for 2024, if you ask me, given all the upheaval that's happening in our workplace today.
Yeah, so important. And I love to talk about the kind of the future of work, right? And what that looks like. I know she's very passionate about that as well. But one of the things is like, if you don't believe that technology can enable or augment, and you're not really bought into that, and it doesn't mean you have to have some wild budget, but you need to carve out a budget, because we can't keep doing the same things we were doing before, or we're not going to move ahead. And so that's super important too. And I think we're having some weather here a little bit, so I think maybe I missed part of what you said because of just a little blip. I think maybe I had an issue there, but everyone else seems to be great, so that works. But I'm really grateful that you shared that, and it's so important from that perspective, and not just from a tech side, but also because you understand the people side, and you also brought up the very important fact that HR folks, we are tasked with a lot, and we would like to move strategically, and it's not always possible. I know that in even consultancy, that's really important to me, to make sure we're moving things forward. We get it that folks want things like right now, but there is a reason that change management operates the way it does, because some things need to happen over here at the front end, and other things we may have to slow some things down. Sometimes we may need to speed it up, but understanding those principles is super important. So thank you for sharing that.
No, absolutely. I did have a sticker for this. Remember my
I was
props.
just about to ask what other props. It's on the roadmap. I love it.
Put it on the roadmap, right? No, seriously, put it on the roadmap. And you really don't need unicorns, right? You do not need unicorns. Use the tech that's out there that's going to be helpful to you. You don't have to look for there isn't one, first of all, and even if there is, it's not going to help you. So look for the tech that will be useful to you, and not just because it's being pushed out there as, oh, ChatGPT, you gotta have it, if not you're gonna die. No. You don't need ChatGPT in 1,000 people station. You don't need ChatGPT at any point in time, till you really want that conversational piece to be taken over by a chatbot, without being a human interacting with your employees. And I don't think that's ever going to happen in HR, because HR is the human function. We can't just have a chatbot. Chatbot talks too, but it's it's more like an NLP, a natural language processing, a machine learning chatbot, where it brings up information based on your keyword search, or information in the moment, so you have access to this information without having to wait for your HR team to wake up and send you a link. Right? That definitely, yes, use the chatbot. But when you want to have like an emotional conversation, like you're going to have a child and you really want to know about FMLA and you're so excited about all this and you want to talk to a human. I mean, the chatbot can talk to you, but I think where you're going to share all this with the chatbot and be happy with the answers that it gives you. So there's a long way to go with conversational AI. I know a lot of people are all gung-ho about it. Yay for that. I'm a technologist. I'm all about technology as well. But don't lose the focus on the human. I mean, it's very important. And just with this drama that was happening with the whole startup area in Silicon Valley this past week, you can tell that the focus should be on the human, because without the human, all these technologies are just not going to work for anyone, right? So that's my 2 cents on utilizing new technology and implementing new technology. Just stop looking for those unicorns, right? Just stop looking. That's what
I mean, they are pretty and shiny and distracting, but
no, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, here's my other prop. I love my job as a technologist, as a startup founder. I love what AI is doing for our function. Hey, our platform is powered by AI. But at the end of the day, maintain that balance. Don't go all in with just one side of things. It's the human and the tech. Be very mindful, be very aware and conscious of it, and take the right steps for you and your organization, not just because someone told you, hey, this is a great technology out there, use it. Right? So that's very important and very pivotal, especially going into 2024.
Yeah. Oh, more gold there. Thank you. And I love that you talked about what works for you, because a 5-person organization, 30-person organization, 1,000-person organization are completely different, and you have different industries. We're in,
Yeah.
a very global space. So, that's another reason to be able to, you said, like, while someone's sleeping, you can have an answer. You don't have to wait for it. So what
Yeah.
better reason? I like to wake up to great, results and data, like while I'm sleeping, like, oh, I got a response to that. We can move forward, right? And it's transformative, and it's agile, and it's productive, and it brings successful outcomes. I also like how you talked about, yes, if someone's talking to you about their baby, like, yeah, I can tell you about FMLA as a bot, but I can't nurture, and like, I'm not going to know to ask all those other beautiful human questions, and connect it into other very human centric things in
Right.
the workplace, right? Like,
Yeah.
a lot of my clients have, their healthy snack centers or whatever. Like, maybe I want to ask this employee as a human that the bot wouldn't know, what types of healthy snacks do you want when you come back, or as you're leading up and you're nurturing this baby, right? And so I think that that's important, as well as the balance of the two, for
No,
sure.
and take for example what I'm offering right now. See, I have these really lovely stickers that I'm giving away for
Oh,
anyone
I have
leaving us
one
a
too.
review on Spotify for the HR Bytes show. So that's a holograph. It's called a holographic sticker. Oh,
Love it.
this is a
Oh
holographic
yeah, we could see it. Reminds me of like
one.
an old CD.
Yeah, and this is another holographic one, and then this is just yeah, I think a die cut one. But
Mm.
AI is not going to be able to do this. I mean, it might show you stuff on the screen, but hey, it's the human touch at the end of the day. Oh, by the way, and I did post the link for the stickers in the comments, so you can
Oh, perfect.
post the
Thank
sticker,
you. Here
leave
they
us a
are.
review
There
on
was a lag.
Spotify. Yeah, do
Mm-hmm.
leave us a review on Spotify, because we do have a season of giving contest as well. If you leave us a review, take a screenshot and send it to us. Here's my plug again. We will donate to a charity of your choice, and
Oh,
we'll do a
great.
drawing. So the top 3 winners will get to choose a nonprofit to which HR Geckos will donate. But hey, AI cannot do all of this. So at the end of the day, we need the human, and we need to keep the human, in the thick of things, and not remove the human totally. And that's what I always talk about with HR Geckos, right? It's even when I built this technology tool, it's not going to take away the human ever. I don't think
Mhm.
HR can ever be 100% conversational AI based or 100% automated. I do not
Mhm.
think that's ever going to be the case. You can quote me on this and take my word. I've been saying this for the past 5 years since I founded the company, and even before that. And, we need technology to augment our work. That's how we should be looking at it. And that's how we should be thinking about it. Don't think of it as replacing you or replacing the work that you do. ChatGPT is not going to replace your brain when it writes employee policies. You can use it to, get a start on writing a policy, though it's still hallucinating. Don't use it. I wouldn't use it. But, just to get a start if you have writer's block, and to, start on working on a policy. But employee policy should be done in collaboration with the rest of your HR team and other employees and your workplace, your workforce functions, and so many human elements are involved in writing all these documents. So just using any of these conversational AI tools, Gen AI tools, to give you a good start, maybe, is a good thing. But don't make that the end all and be all of everything, right? So,
Mhm.
again, that's one of the biggest things I always talk about. And people are like, "Hey, but isn't your platform AI powered? And how can you say that?" And I'm like, it is AI powered to augment the human. That's all. I'm not ever going to say this is going to help you, just write a whole employee policy or an employee handbook, and you can totally be hands off of this. No, it's never going to happen. And that's where our partnership with CEPHR comes in, right? I mean,
Mhm.
folks like you who are in the nitty gritty of what's happening in that particular workplace know better on how a policy should be formulated for that particular workplace than any Gen AI tool or anyone outside of that organization knows. So, you know, and organizations should be so mindful of that, and HR folks and HR leaders should really be mindful of how to utilize all these tools that are being thrown at them really fast, and they're coming out of the woodwork. There
Yeah.
were, there were upwards of 550 vendors at this year's HR technology conference. Apparently, it's the largest ever HR tech
Wow.
conference. So think about how many tools there are today to do our work, but make a very conscious and decisive decision on how that tool is going to be helpful to you, not just
Hmm.
because it's helpful to some other organization. It's not going to work the same way for you. So you have to be very, very careful in choosing a tool that will help you personally.
Yeah, because so many people too are they they have a product, they have a software, and they'll say something to me and I'm like, I happen to know that X software should be able to do that. And they're like, really? And I'm like, okay, back to our employee customer experience. Why haven't they educated you on that? And are they not keeping up with the trends or helping to support you? But also you need to be using what you're paying for to its full capacity of all of its features and capabilities. Maybe you phase that out. Again, I'm going to shout out my change management, but you need to be able to impact that. And I love what you talked about handbooks. And even I'm not like the last step. I always say, have it checked by legal now, right? But
Mhm.
where HR then it comes in, that can be, in augmentation of even AI is, that culture piece. Like you said, we are having those real human conversations and touch points to be able to say, okay, that doesn't feel as inclusive. This doesn't feel like it fits your culture. Where is the DIB aspect of this? Here's how it may negatively impact. Uh-oh, here comes risk, right? Like
Mhm.
trying to nurture all of those things is really part of the process as well. So I love that you shared that, Jay.
No, absolutely. Thank you for always keeping that, focus in your work. And that's one of the
Always.
reasons why, we are really enthused about this partnership with CEPHR, because, our values are really aligned in this endeavor and into the future of work. So
Yeah.
we're really looking forward to moving forward together, and helping our colleagues build this roadmap together with us,
Mhm.
bringing our perspective and their perspective into the fore, and having this collaboration as a community, and going forward. So we're really excited for this opportunity and this partnership with CEPHR.
Yeah, same. It's such a great tool, and good people behind it. And so, how can we not get behind that? And we are a values-led organization, and so I just light up anytime that we can find not only products and services like what HR Geckos offers, but the human behind it. I just can't emphasize that enough. And we thank you so much for your partnership and your friendship and keeping us laughing. I was telling Jay before this that like if anyone's leaving and they're not laughing with Jay, I'm not sure what's happening, but laughter at work too, right? That's fun. The AI
Well,
can't take
well,
that away
let
from
me
us.
let me use my last but one prop. Yes,
Of
the
course, you have
HR
another one.
Divas,
HR
right?
Caesar. Are those jewels? What is happening? What's
Uh, they're not jewels.
the
They're just
jewels?
no, they're just
Oh,
some kind of
okay.
shiny thing on the ribbon. I collect these when I go to conferences, and I've been to a lot of them this year.
You
So
have been on a road show.
yeah, I've been kind of a big deal.
Stop! I can't. You
Hey,
you are a big deal. We're grateful for you.
well, no, you are too. And so we both stand by this. I think we got the sticker at the Pittsburgh HR conference. So we both love
Yes.
what we do, and it shows, right? It shows in our work, and it shows in any partnerships that we will be building in 2024 with
So
either of our
excited.
clients. So I'm really excited for this partnership, and I'm looking forward to stop pivoting and actually be grounded for a little while this
Yeah.
holiday season. And I got my little Downton Abbey last prop of the day, my little
Oh,
Downton Abbey house that actually lights up and
oh my
plays music
gosh.
and it also came with this little nice 48-page booklet of all the favorite quotes from Downton Abbey. I'm a big fan of Downton Abbey and any of these Brit soap operas, by the way. So
that is awesome.
yeah. So I left the house downstairs. I took it out of the box. So sorry, I can't share. Oh no, I actually got it. Here's the house. It actually I have to need to put batteries in it, but it's the actual
wow,
replica of Downton Abbey, and it lights up and makes and plays music. So I'm looking forward to decorating my office and just staying put and stop pivoting and stop doing any work starting after this call. Actually, not after this call, starting tomorrow, and just hit snooze and kind of just snooze through the holiday season till next year, till after the New Year's. So this has been a great year for us at HR Geckos, and we partnered with so many folks in the past quarter this year. It's been an amazing journey, and we're just so enthused for what we are all building together, and we're really, really grateful, thankful, and blessed to be in your circle, Tiffany, and be partnered with CEPHR. We really are very blessed to be in this circle, and we're always looking for friends to join our community, and so we'll extend the offer to join our HR Bytes community. We have communities on LinkedIn and Facebook. Just look for us. It's called HR Bytes, like the bytes in a computer. And it's powered by HR Geckos. So we do lots of virtual events, as well as we are planning some in-person events for next year. So look for those events and just chime in and share your challenges, and let's build a community where we are helpful to each other, and always have an ask when you join a community. There's one more networking tip right there.
Oh, yes. Great one. Great one. Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask. We don't ask, we don't receive. And no one knows how they can support you if you don't make the ask. That's so important.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate you sharing that. What else? I know I have you, your company and you and your podcast all tagged in the post. You've put some stuff here, which is great. So we have it all top and refreshed for everyone, which is amazing. I'm so excited for you to pause. I have all of tomorrow, and then I will be pivoting. I'm coming to your area actually to spend time with my family for Thanksgiving and to celebrate my sister's birthday, my youngest sister. So we're doing that, but it will be a moment of pause. Yeah, and excited. Thank you. I will let her know. I'm sure she'll love it. Anything you want to leave us with besides the charm and wit and wisdom you've already left us with, Jay?
Well,
any final thoughts?
Like I said, this is a time to relax and plan for what's coming our way in 2024, and make use of our partnership here to help you be more enlightened, be less stressed, and be happy in the new year. And that's the thought I'd like to leave you with, because at the end of the day, being in a community and reaching out to ask and receive help is a blessing. And we are here to also ask and receive that help, being in the same community. And so please do make use of these opportunities, and please do look us up. Tiffany and I are always, I think, accessible digitally, and we of course want to meet us in person. We're always, you can send us a plane ticket if it's outside of an area.
We did say if you don't ask,
we are always happy to get on a plane and meet you in person, or a train for that matter. I love trains, and I think one of my goals is actually to go up to visit my family in New York and take the Amtrak this time instead of driving. So we'll see. But yeah, have a wonderful holiday season. Rest, relax, and rejuvenate, and come back ready to hit the ground running in 2024. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for having me, Tiffany.
I I love it. Thank you for being here and for sharing this all with us. I'm so inspired. I'm so ready to do some amazing things, more amazing things in 24. And thanks to everyone who shared their comments, their thoughts, their questions, both on Team Live and Team Replay. And I will say, if we missed any, it's because sometimes that LinkedIn integration just doesn't happen. So we're not ignoring you. That's why I had to say a verbal hi to my girl Jenny, because I know that doesn't always work. But whether you watch this live or on replay, we're so excited. We're so grateful. We encourage you to collaborate and to go build community and, do change the right way. So we're really excited to bring on some, future guests in the past who are going to be talking about things in the future. So take care. For those of you who are celebrating, wishing you a peaceful Thanksgiving full of gratitude, which we can and should practice every day. And we'll see you soon on either Team Live or Team Replay. Thanks again, Jay, for being here. And to everyone, have a great
week. Bye.
Have
a wonderful Thanksgiving and happy holidays. Bye-bye.